Concerning the Maritime Commonwealth, if it be acknowledged that the frame of every commonwealth proceedeth from the nature of its foundation, then it must likewise be acknowledged that the genius of a people is informed by that element, from which they derive their sustenance, their commerce, and their greatness. For as the ancient republics of the continent were founded upon the possession of land, so hath the British nation, beyond all others, been founded upon the possession and use of the sea. The error of many ages have been to conceive Britain principally as a kingdom and afterward as an empire, yet neither title expressed the true source of her strength. For before she became an empire, she was an island. Before she commanded distant territories, she commanded the narrow seas. And before she acquired dominion, she possessed liberty at home. The ocean, and not the continent, have ever been the proper theatre of her greatness. Wherefore, a maritime commonwealth is nothing other than the restoration of the nation unto its natural principle. The foundation of such a commonwealth, not conquest, but navigation, not dominion over subject peoples, but an association amongst free citizens. For the sea differ from the land in this respect, that it cannot be enclosed by any lord, nor partitioned among any oligarchy, but remains perpetually open to courage, industry, and skill. He who would prosper upon the ocean must rely not upon inheritance, but upon his own virtue, not upon privilege, but upon seamanship, enterprise, and prudence. Thus the maritime spirit is naturally republican. In a maritime commonwealth, the principal object of public care is the preservation of liberty through the maintenance of those institutions whereby free citizens may engage in commerce, navigation, invention, and public service. The ports are not mere markets, but schools of citizenship. The merchant fleet is not merely an engine of profit, but a nursery of independence. The navy is not the instrument of a prince's ambition, but the shield of common liberty. Nor ought such a commonwealth be to intimidate those territorial powers whose greatness consists in vast bureaucracies and standing armies. For the disease of a land empire is centralization, by which all authority is gradually drawn into a single capital, and all initiative extinguished beneath administration. A maritime commonwealth flourishes by the contrary principle, namely, an encouragement of vigorous cities, ports, corporations and associations, local governments united by common laws and common interests, yet retaining their own activity and character. The end of this constitution is not merely security nor merely wealth, but vitality. For a nation is not truly prosperous when it only consumes what former generations have built. It is prosperous when it continues to build, to discover, to venture, and to create. Therefore, the proper citizen of a maritime commonwealth is neither the courtier nor the dependent, but the sailor, the engineer, the merchant, the craftsman, the explorer, and those whose livelihood require foresight, discipline, and courage. Such men and women are accustomed to uncertainty and therefore capable of liberty. The Commonwealth be rightly ordered, the sea shall become not merely a boundary but a highway, not merely a source of wealth but a source of our character. Then Britain shall cease to regard herself as the remnant of an empire departed, and shall again become what nature first intended, a free commonwealth of the ocean, whose greatness proceeds from the enterprise of its own citizens, and whose dominion consists not in territory, but in the very ideal of liberty.